Thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. This is not our normal meeting space. We were expecting a large crowd, so I'm glad we were able to accommodate everyone. At this time, we'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to Upper Chichester Board of Commissioners regular meeting, Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Needles, roll call, please.
Sure. Commissioner Neary, Commissioner Baako,
Here.
Commissioner Godioso,
Here.
Commissioner Rakowski,
Here.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Here.
James Halligan,
Here.
Michael Sioko,
Here.
and myself, George Needles, present.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open up for public comment. This public comment period will be, no, wait a minute. This public comment will be for any business not related to 4881 Chichester Avenue. So if you have another piece of business that you want to bring to the attention of the Board of Commissioners, please do so at this time. Anyone that has a comment that's not related to 4881, please make your way to the podium. Okay, hearing none, we'll close that session of public comment. We will open public comment again. At this time, we will have we'll get into our business. Mr. Neary.
First class.
On. Consider a motion approving the promotion of Patrolman First Class Fred Rhodes to the position of Sergeant in the Upper Chichester Police Department. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
So if you could come up, we'll get the District Justice, Mr. Griffin, to Judge Griffin, rather, to swear you in.
Do you have this memorized for the night?
Won't do that.
Repeat after me.
I,
Your name,
Fred C. Rhodes Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and I will discharge my duties
and I will discharge my duties
as Sergeant
as Sergeant
for the Upper Chichester Police Department
for the Upper Chichester Police Department
with fidelity
with fidelity
and
and
integrity,
integrity,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Before, let me give you that. I already opened it for you, so if it's stabbing the floor. You got to, it's like it's a, thank you very much. Anything?
The second motion is consider a motion approving the promotion of Sergeant Christopher Jones to the position of Lieutenant in the Upper Chichester Police Department. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Repeat after me. I your name,
James,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear,
I will support, obey, and defend
support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth. And I will discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as Lieutenant
as Lieutenant
of the Upper Chichester Police Department
for Chichester Police Department,
with fidelity
fidelity
and integrity,
and integrity,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Chris, just remember, that's still your boss.
That's it. Congratulations, sir. Get this from you. Thank you.
Congratulations to both officers. Okay. Now we're going to get back into public comment. So a couple of ground rules. You have 3 minutes to speak. You'll have one opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. We are setting a timer. And when you come up to the podium, please give us your name and contact information if there's a question that we need to get back to you about. We'll allow the public comment first. We're not going to answer any questions. Once public comment is completed, we will try to address some of the questions that you have as a board. Okay, so we're going to attempt to answer some of the questions that you may have if we can, but we want you to be able to use your 3 minutes for, your time, not Q&A. Okay, so we'll start. First row, anyone from the first row? Second row? Please come up. First row? Also.
And we'll start the timer after you state your name and your address.
Good evening. My name is Edward Ryan, 6 Bernard Street, Upper Chichester, PA. Thank you for the privilege of addressing the council. Previously, I addressed in a standard that was connective of my sense of community, emotional connection to Upper Chichester. But as reminded, this is a place of business. And so I will come from an angle based on the ordinances of Upper Chichester and what should be considered. First, I just want to obviously challenge the zoning and land use compatibility. I understand it was zoned as industrial commercial, but we do need to take into consideration by right or within the district. Also, under certain articles, the purpose and community development objectives, there are contradictions to those objectives as well. I would insist that the developer demonstrate compliance with all of the standards and procedures of the conditional uses and special exceptions, as I understand that land was conditioned to be used by kids for the community by the previous family in which MSI bought it from. Second, in reference to the performance standards and supplemental regulations, Articles 23 of the code set out performance and standards for uses of noise, vibration, air, and pollution. I want to emphasize how heavy trucking operations will generate noise, vibration, exhaust, truck backups, likely exceeding what the code expects. Also, if there's supplemental regulations such as loading, dock design, off-street loading, lighting, parking, and curb cuts, which must be understood and argued at some point, because we do have children going to and from school, and the visibility will be challenged by those large trucks. Secondly, I want to cite screening and landscaping requirements and design proper buffers between residential and the industrial commercial area that is being zoned. Another issue, lighting, regulation 600-163 to push back on 24-hour operations with bright floodlights shining into homes in which it would do so. Third, a full site plan review on environmental impact. We discussed the stormwater issue. Although the roads might be PennDOT, we still live in this community. Also, detailed traffic impact studies. I don't know if those have been cited as well, but peak hour analysis, school bus truck interactions as part of the site plan review. Last, highlight children's school safety and pedestrian concerns as already discussed by various community members. When we reference things such as the trucks turning, staging backup areas, parades that we often like to have that would be impacted by the large trucks, school arrivals, dismissal times, which increase accident risk for our children and our community at large. Last, I would propose an alternative use and modification for the community at large to limit hours of operation for no night and weekend truck arrivals, require truck access points
And
away
time.
from residential streets. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Next row. Second row. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Michael McKinney Jr., 120 Stanley Court. I'm asking the board to consider a few things when they consider the resolution. Please keep in mind with regards to the 4881 Chichester Avenue project. You have an outdoor sports complex that focuses mainly on travel sports. So this town sees revenue from families, from participants, and from spectators that come from many states in the Northeast, Pennsylvania, obviously, all parts of Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, Maryland, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, Virginia, and also Canada and Puerto Rico. This is a large influx of business for many of the businesses in the town. Dunkin' Donuts, Sage Diner, McDonald's, Acme. Our businesses are getting solicited by people that is not from this area. We're getting exposure from many states to the complex. Additionally, we have to consider there's a number of organizations that use this facility, youth organizations. 1776 Soccer will no longer have a home. Their organization will fold. Junior Jags, boys and girls lacrosse, they're going to fold. Flag football, they're going to fold. Local softball and baseball programs, they're going to be gone. The Miracle League of Delaware, the Miracle League of Delaware County, they're going to fold. Penn State University, softball and baseball, that's their home field. Horizon Field Hockey, Rose Tree Soccer, FC Brandywine Soccer Club, Aston Soccer Club, and more recently, if you've been on Chichester Avenue in the last 2 or 3 weekends, you cannot miss the number of cars. That is from an organization called NXT Lacrosse. That is a big organization that comes the first last weekend in October and the first 3 weekends in November. That will all be gone. If you want to consider this proposal for land development and use, perhaps you can consider it with something that won't have tractor trailers idling overnight, that won't have constant lights, maybe an office complex for the right of use to that land, which would be respectful. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone from the next row? Please come up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Robert Morrison. I live the next street over from Fury Road on Summers Lane. But yeah, I read through what you printed out, and what I want to ask is, why are we building all of these warehouses? Because I go down to Marcus Hook, I drive through there, a huge warehouse, over 370,000 square feet, not being used. It's been there for a year. No one's using it. I drive across Waltman Whitman Bridge in New Jersey, there's like huge warehouse, huge warehouse, huge warehouse, all empty. And so now there's a warehouse right next to me that's just been built, and they don't have any tenants, nothing. So now we're gonna get away with all the ball fields and all the sports events, and we're gonna build warehouses there. And you have in here that that's gonna be 30 acres. I don't have my glasses, but it says a warehouse and associated improvements. What improvements is there gonna be over the soccer fields and baseball fields? So if you can answer me that, I'd really like to know. And that's all I have to say. And again, thank you for my time.
Thank you. Next row.
Hi, Larry Reiner, 730 Carriage Circle. I had made some previous comments at the prior meeting, and I want to correct one of those items. I mentioned that the trucks are roughly 38 feet in length. They're actually closer to 50 feet in length. So as you multiply these trucks, you end up exponentially increasing that area. Coming outside of Chelsea Parkway, if you have 10 trucks in a row, you're not going to get any traffic out of Walmart. And that's already a very high traffic area. So I want you to consider that, as well as the fact that you've obviously got a number of residents here that are concerned about this, and where we seem to be siding with one particular landowner who doesn't even reside within the township, other than the fact that he bought an investment property. And one question that I would ask you to, if you could answer for me, during the sound study, when you used that sound study that was supposedly done, and you're going to build these sound barriers to prevent the sound or contain the sound, is that a standard that you're using, or are you using the existing sound within the neighborhood, the sound level? So if you could address that as part of the sound study. And that's all I have. So thank you.
Thank you. Going back to the next row, anyone? Yeah, please make your way over.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Petros. I live at 1503 Summers Lane. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. First, I would like you to weigh the potential tax revenue of these warehouses against the effect to the residents within a quarter-mile radius. None of us bought houses in an industrial park, but you all seem determined to turn it into one. If you lower our quality of life, you're going to lower our property values and therefore your tax revenue. So I'd also like to say that if you're planning to vote yes for this use, because there's a chance of getting into a legal battle with the property owner, please be advised that if this gets approved, not only will you be against the wishes of your residents, neighbors, your constituents, but I can all but guarantee legal action if this does pass. Okay. There are multiple people in this room that are ready to file an emergency injunction, take whatever legal action necessary to stop this. Okay. So would you rather take a chance of possible legal action from a corporate entity that doesn't live in your community, okay, and stand up for the residents that voted for you, okay, or side with the entity and face almost certain legal fight? It's your choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Next row. Anyone? Come on up.
Danielle Eckhart, 2627 West Colonial Drive. Is it not? Can you hear me now? Never had anybody say that to me. Okay. I want to thank each of you for the work that you do. I know it isn't easy. I know there are many meetings that you sit in an empty room and the work gets done and the decisions get done. And I believe that each of you are going to vote for what you feel is best for the township in an impossible situation. I ask you to consider the choice that we can't come back from. There are a lot of scenarios that could play out after this vote. But this vote could take away many of them, and I challenge you to consider how your vote will affect what we can and can't come back from. The applicant is applying for development approval and owns the property and has rights. However, we as a township also have rights and codes and ordinances in place to make sure that developers are being responsible. Being pushed into a decision that does the least amount of damage should tell you all you need to know. There's a long history of bad decisions and promises unkept regarding this property. And if we move forward with an approval in this scenario with this development plan, we can only expect more of the same. What will this vote cost the township? Will it be a burden or an asset? Consider property values, environmental impact, traffic, responsible businesses being in place. When we look at the property 5 to 10 years down the road, what is it costing the township long-term? Lost my place. I've watched a lot of businesses close. I've watched convenience stores turn into mini casinos. I've seen vape shops pop up. I've seen properties go run down, but I've also seen parks being revitalized, streetscapes being completed, new good businesses coming in, a new library. All of this is done within legal rights. Sometimes it's about making the tough choices. We as residents and elected representatives are all stewards of our township. If we want better, we all have to do better. There have to be moments where we draw a line. I implore you, some fights we may not win, but at the end of the day, at least you fought. Thank you.
Thank you. Next row.
Good evening, and thank you for hosting this and having your community with you. Thank all of you for what you do. We all truly appreciate all of you. At the last meeting, I stated my safety concerns for these Shane Dunleavy, 16 Bernard Street. At the last meeting, I explained to all of you the safety concerns that I have and the work that I do and some of the graphic images that I've seen with my line of work. Not only that, Upper Chichester was exposed to those on April 29th, 2025. Upper Chichester became a National Highway Traffic Safety Commission statistic. And what you guys would be doing if you do vote yes, there's several children in this room, you'd be robbing them of their youth and sports. So I want each of you to look at all these children out here. Ask yourselves, if your children were this young, would you be out here advocating for our community like we are? One of the other concerns I have is the bridge over Chichester Avenue. An average tractor trailer is 16 and a half feet. That bridge is only 14 and a half feet. So again, where are these tractor trailers going to go? There have been numerous crashes. I've witnessed numerous crashes on 322 and Chelsea Parkway. Not only are you putting our community in danger, you're putting our first responders in danger. Also, if you have tractor trailers backed up on Chichester Avenue, Fury Road is a 2-lane roadway. If traffic is backed up, how are our police officers going to get to these crash scenes, render aid to our community? How are fire apparatuses going to get under that bridge and or around off Chelsea Parkway?
So please consider some of the stuff that our community is saying. We love our children. We love our community. And again, I thank you guys for what you do. But again, look out to this crowd and look what you'd be robbing these kids of. Thank you.
Thank you. Next row. Next row, anyone else have a comment? Please come up.
John Decken, 18 Bernard Street. Once they put those warehouses in and parking, where's all the water going to go? The water that goes down there now, the retention basin I live next to, fills up almost completely with the draining from the fields. Once they have nowhere to go, it's going to be higher and the water is going to go over the retention basin. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Next, anyone else? This side of the room, anyone else have a comment? Nope. This side of the room, anyone else have a comment? Nope. Okay. So we're going to attempt to answer some of the, I'm sorry. Oh, come on up.
I'm William Zaromsky, 345 Handy Circle. William Zaromsky.
You can move the mic so it can go up some.
There you
so
go. How about that?
Okay.
William Zaromsky, 345 Handy Circle. I just have a question. When they built those fields, did they have to come in front of the board to do zoning for that? Did they have to present what they were going to bring to the community and why? I mean, did all that change? I mean, what happens now? They presented something to you and it was approved. And it was, I guess, good for the community. I don't have kids aged to use those fields. But they said something. Why now? Just money? Did it go away? To me, what they said the first time, to get the zoning is what would matter. Why let them change? And I second everything the gentleman said. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else have comments? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to provide some background and then we will get into some of the questions that you all answered. So we just want to take a moment to walk through some of the steps related to the development of 1481 Chichester Avenue, the zoning history specifically. So first, I think it's important to understand the zoning history of this property. For decades dating back to pre-1971 and continuing through 2011, the site carried an I-1 industrial zoning designation. Under that classification, the property was permitted by right to host a wide range of high-intensity industrial activities. These included manufacturing and processing, metal finishing, warehousing, trucking depots, cold storage plants, automotive body paint shops, mail order facilities, even full industrial park containing all of those uses together. That is the zoning that we inherited, and residents would have had no ability to prevent any of those uses if the applicant met the technical requirements. Since taking office, this board has taken steps to reduce the intensity of what could be built on that property. We rezoned it to industrial commercial, which shifts the focus to lighter, service-oriented and commercial uses such as retail, restaurants, research facilities, office buildings, and limited manufacturing. This was done specifically to lessen the potential impact on neighboring neighborhoods or nearby neighborhoods. This was also one of the initiatives of the Heart and Soul value and the corridor plan. This was one of the largest, Heart and Soul, if you're familiar with it, one of the largest community engagement efforts that the township has ever done. And one of the value statements, some of the qualities that make Chichester a desirable place to live are the same qualities that make certain parcels attractive to regional businesses. This is not a new trend. It's a reality of our position along US 322, I-95, the Delaware River Corridor, and Philadelphia Wilmington employment region. Similarly, our Route 322 corridor plan adopted after significant public input specifically instructed the township to update the zoning along the corridor, prepare for new development patterns created by the highway widening, and position the corridor for redevelopment while managing impacts and improving appearance. Our actions have been guided by that plan. There have been questions about, the taxes. There've been questions about the warehouses in Marcus Hook and why the warehouses are empty. So my understanding is that we had warehouses that came in Marcus Hook first. That started the trend. The school district provided a tax incentive for them to build, and that opened the door for warehouses, which is where you see the one across the street. Right? So it's a trend. We have the tank farms around us. We are in an industrial area. We cannot tell a developer what he can do with his property. Property owners have rights. Yes, we changed the zoning. They built these beautiful fields. We expected them to develop. We expected them to put a restaurant in. We expected them to put the hotel in. We expected the dentist office to be able to expand his business and put a lot across the street. We had a lot of expectations for that property that never came to fruition. Right? So we are in a tough position. We absolutely, we understand. We live here, right? We all live here. Some live closer than others to this area. I have the railroad tracks behind me, right? I have the car depot that came in the 90s, and they operate 24/7, back and forth all day long. So the people over in Canterbury Woods, they're tormented by the railroad and the horn. So this is where we live, right? This is where we live. And we would be subjecting you all and the other 17,000 residents that are not here to a significant legal battle, significant tax increase. Right? I think it's also important to understand that this is a preliminary plan. They have to come back. If this plan is approved, they would have to come back for a final plan. So this is the beginning. Right? This is the beginning. So it's not, and it's a plan, right? It's a plan. They could come back and say, it's warehouses now. Someone could buy it and say, hey, we're going to build indoor sports facility. Then what? No tractor trailer. So we don't know. This is a plan. A developer prepares a plan so then he can go out and sell that plan, right? To the highest bidder. He's selling this property. Doesn't mean it's going to get sold. Right? But I can tell you, if we deny it, they develop it and they build whatever they want. We have no say in it. We have about 20 conditions that they have agreed to. Right? So, we deny it, they build it. We approve it, they build it. It's getting built. That's the reality. Okay. What are some of the other questions that folks had? There was something that.
About the sports complex, it's a private rate use. They can discontinue and abandon that use.
Right. So the question regarding what it was approved for and how it changed. Yes, again, it was a sports complex. It's private. They can change the use. It's their right. It still falls within what is allowable on that property. Right. So again, that plan for warehouses, it could change to something else. It's open fields now. could change to something else. Whatever the agreement was when it was sold, there is no deed restriction on record that says it has to stay as sports fields. There's no deed restriction at all. Okay, there is no deed restriction. We do not have any legal basis. This board does not have any legal basis to deny this plan. It is a use by right. They have not asked for any variances. They have not gone before the zoning hearing board to ask for any special exceptions. They have not asked for any waivers. If they ask for waivers, we could deny it, but they haven't asked for anything because it's a use by right. It is a right. They have the right to build within the parameters that it's zoned for, which ties our hands.
Yeah, there were some questions about stormwater management, and what's going to happen with that. So, the township has a certain stormwater ordinance that requires certain reductions of stormwater off of, the existing property, as it exists today. And actually, it makes you compare the stormwater management in a meadow condition, meaning that there's nothing there today, and then saying after development, it needs to be back to discharging stormwater as if it was a meadow or even less. There are certain reductions further than the meadow standard. So the stormwater management we have reviewed, and we have to ensure that it will be meeting the ordinance for those reduction standards. There was another question, I believe, on the sound study and what does it compare the levels against. And so our ordinance has a certain number of performance standards that we had the developer go through and prepare a report from an expert. And with that sound study, they compare against the ordinance. The ordinance has certain decibel readings for different districts and different uses. So we had them compare that, and that's why they actually ended up, when they first started, they didn't have all the sound walls that you see on the plan today. So now they're wrapping most of the site, the north and eastern sides of the site at least, with a sound wall to reduce those decibels as they traverse across the site. So I think those were two of the main engineering technical issues. And Jim, I don't know if you had any legal issues you want to talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. And then they did submit a traffic study for this whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have our traffic engineer.
Good evening. The applicant did submit a traffic study that was reviewed several times. They compared the traffic that's anticipated from the warehouse development with what was originally permitted, with the full build of what was initially conceived for the Maple Zone site, which included the hotel and the restaurant. This arguably does not generate as much traffic as if Maple Zone had been fully built out as it was intended. We questioned several times how many trucks they anticipated to come in and out of it. And ultimately, we had some data from an existing facility down on South Market Street. We had them use that. PennDOT also updated their standards to increase the number of trucks that had to be assumed. They redid another analysis using that. We asked them to do another supplemental analysis that assumed the completion of the Route 322 project, and they also completed that. Those traffic studies have also been submitted to PennDOT, and PennDOT has not found any technical flaw in the studies that were done. As part of the discussions about this project, what's before the board now does have a potential new connection directly from the development to Chelsea Parkway, which would alleviate the truck traffic from going in and out of the Chichester Avenue entrance.
Good evening. My name's James Halligan. I work with Sienna Law. We're the solicitors for the Upper Chichester Township. My basic information to the residents here this evening would be legal in nature, but I need to make a statement in preamble to that would be that I believe that in defense of the Board of Commissioners and the resolution that is pending before them this evening, the residents need to know that each of the commissioners has been considering this for a long time. This is not a decision to side with a developer. This is a decision to apply the law. And as you saw, the two police officers that were promoted this evening, they had to take an oath. These commissioners had to take an oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution, to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the statutes of the Pennsylvania Commonwealth, and also the ordinances of this township, which have been passed in years before they became commissioners and when they were commissioners. This evening under consideration by the commissioners is the preliminary plan application of the developer. And the Township Board of Commissioners has to consider the municipal planning code. And according to the municipal planning code, the preliminary plan must meet specific objective requirements under the applicable subdivision and land development and ordinance of the township. This plan that's been submitted meets the township zoning ordinance, it meets the township saldo, it meets the township's storm management ordinance. This plan has been before the planning commission several times over the last year. It's been submitted to the township engineer, as you've heard from, the township land planner, the township traffic engineer, the zoning officer has gone through the plans through several reviews, multiple rounds of reviews with their comments, and those comments have been answered. As indicated, the traffic impact study was done, the submissions to PennDOT were done, the storm management reports were done, the noise studies were done. This plan is submitted to this board without any request for variance, without any request for waivers. It cannot be denied because of traffic. It cannot be denied because of noise. And it cannot be denied for economic reasons. I understand, I own my own home as well, that many people are worried about their property value. That is not a consideration under the MPC. This board has to follow the MPC. If the board does not consider a resolution and vote on the plan this evening, after midnight, the plan is deemed approved as is. The township has been working with the developer to try to develop conditions that would make and mitigate the impact on the community. And sorry. And I apologize. I wasn't here last week. Mr. Crotty, the main attorney for our office, was here. Chelsea Drive has been discussed. Part of the conditions of this resolution, the developer would assist in the finances with respect to that. The intention of acquiring land to extend Chelsea Drive would be to minimize the impact on the community. Without the developer agreeing to that condition in the proposed resolution, and again, it's a proposed resolution for these commissioners to consider this evening. If the commissioners do not act, the plan is deemed approved again at midnight, and there's no condition to relieve any traffic or mitigate any traffic through Chelsea, because then the township will not be able to take any action to either acquire through agreement with the owner or through potentially, if it became to that, and the township is not saying it will, but if it came to eminent domain, that condition would not be in place. So these are all considerations that the commissioners are making at this point in time. This preliminary plan, if approved, still has to come back before this board for final approval. The plan, if the conditions are in place, the developer would have to comply with those conditions. If the developer came back to the final plan approval process with a major change, they would have to start back at square one again. And the commissioners would not have to approve that final plan. It cannot substantially change as proposed in the proposed resolution if it was passed this evening. Again, that's for the commissioners to consider, but that's what would happen in this planning process. One moment. I made notes while the comments were made. I'm trying to answer them all, but I'm going to defer now to the commissioners, and I'll answer any questions from the commissioners that they might have.
Thank you. All right, I will, you all have a mic? Does anyone have any comments for the public? No, you?
I know all these studies have been done, down. Well, they did a traffic study for the Blue Route and look where it is. They did a sound study at the warehouses over in Aston and asked the people in Somerset how that worked out. I'm against this. I'd like to dig in, fight, take my chances in court. I don't know how everybody out there feels, but that's my opinion.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the board? I believe that we answer everyone's questions. Ma'am? Yes, we did go and meet with them to buy it, and they asked us for $28 million. Yeah. Yes. You want to come up because your voice is low?
I'm never, never an issue. Sure. Larry Reiner, 730 Carriage Circle. No, related to the comments by the solicitor. You mentioned about the roadway. Are the commissioners going to assist with the purchase sale of that particular roadway? The connection between the property. and
Yes, I
Chelsea
understand.
Park.
I just want to, I don't want to
No, don't
misquote
worry.
anything here. As proposed in the resolution that's pending before the commissioners, under condition 10 with regard to Chelsea Parkway connection, the applicant shall revise the land development plans as part of the final plan application process to incorporate a public to be dedicated road connection from Chelsea Parkway to the site consistent with the plans attached in Exhibit A. The Chelsea Parkway connection shall serve as an exclusive means of ingress and egress for all traffic to the site. No traffic except for fire and emergency services trucks shall be permitted to access or exit the site directly from Chichester Avenue, and the applicant shall comply with the township's consultant review letters associated with the design and signage associated with the same. The applicant shall add additional signage and or pavement markings to the site to prohibit trucks from entering and exit the site from Chichester Avenue. The applicant shall not use the existing easement through the adjacent church property for emergency or vehicular traffic associated with the site and will take such action as needed to extinguish the existing church emergency access easement of record. Design and engineer of Chelsea Parkway connection shall be finalized during the final plan application process. The Chelsea Parkway connection shall be constructed and installed in accordance with the applicable township and PennDOT standards except as indicated on the plans and as may be further modified during the final plan application process. If required, the applicant will update the traffic impact study for the project. The applicant may also be required to slightly modify the internal circulation of the project to accommodate turning movements for trucks to use the Chelsea Parkway. The applicant will not be required to modify Chichester Avenue access for proposed emergency access to Chichester Avenue as a result of the condition. This extension, there's a portion of the property that's privately owned. The township would have to negotiate, hopefully amicably, with the property owner to obtain that portion. If there was no agreement, the township has a right, because it would be a public use for the benefit of the township, to file an eminent domain action. But the fair market value for that parcel of property would have to be paid. The cost associated with the inlet portion of the property that would connect to that Chelsea Parkway corridor would be incurred, I don't want to misquote this incorrectly, by the developer. But the acquisition of the designated private, I'm sorry, strike private, the designated public portion of that road is the township's responsibility to acquire. Does that answer your question?
And also maintained, correct?
Yes, because it would be a public roadway
it is
up
gonna be a
until up
cost.
until the entrance point to the property.
It would be a cost, to the township.
Yes,
Okay.
but it is designed to mitigate the traffic impact on Chichester Avenue, because they will not be permitted to have trucks ingress and egress from Chichester Avenue. There will be, people will say, well, how are you going to stop that? We have law enforcement, code enforcement that can and will enforce that.
No, I understand that. My concern is that we're gonna spend money
Jude,
to assist
two
and
things.
maintain.
So just to clarify, because I think the mic was going out, the Chelsea Parkway connection shall serve as the exclusive means of ingress and egress for all truck traffic to the site. No truck traffic except fire emergency services vehicles shall be permitted to access or exit the site directly from Chichester Avenue, and the applicant shall comply with the township consultant review letters associated with the design and signage associated with the same. I don't know if truck came through. The other is that the last the paragraph here, the township shall acquire the necessary land, rights of way, or easements over the adjacent privately owned property for the Chelsea Parkway connection within 9 months of the receipt of the finalized road road plan, and such acquisition shall be final and unappealable. If the township and or the applicant are unable to acquire the necessary land rights or easements within such time period, the applicant is not required to incorporate, install, and construct Chelsea Parkway connection, and may proceed with the development subject to the remaining conditions of the resolution. All time periods set forth subject to the extension by agreement of the application and the township, or otherwise told by litigation challenging this resolution. The applicant shall cooperate with the township in good faith in the township's efforts to acquire the necessary land, rights of way, and or easements for the Chelsea Parkway connection. The applicant shall enter into an escrow agreement with the township to pay for the township's professional fees associated with the Chelsea Parkway connection. The applicant shall pay for the township's costs to acquire the necessary land rights, rights of way, or easements for the Chelsea Parkway connection up to the maximum of 30% of the applicant's required fee in lieu of providing recreational facilities referenced in section 10 above. The applicant shall be entitled to a credit against the required fee in lieu, providing recreational fees for the applicant's costs to acquire the necessary land rights, ways, easements for Chelsea Parkway connection, and to install and construct the Chelsea Parkway connection. So the costs associated with would be paid by the applicant, not the township.
So
We
acquire
would,
it.
so there would be an escrow account established where the work would be done by the professionals, and then they would pay that cost.
Right, but considering it a public road will mean that we're responsible for maintaining it.
Okay. All right, so we are, there are no other comments. We are going to move on to our agenda. And we're going to, this is number 41 on the agenda? So we're gonna move this item up on the agenda. We're gonna close public comment. Move this agenda item up so that you all aren't waiting, because I know that's what folks are here for. So I'll turn it over to Commissioner Gaudioso.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Like to consider a resolution taking action on the preliminary land development application for the development of an existing 30.09 acre parcel of land with a warehouse and associated improvements as submitted by Maple Zone Bat Works LLC, owner of the property, located at 4881 Chichester Avenue in Upper Chichester Township.
Motion, hold on one second, sorry.
Second. The action is to approve or deny, correct, Commissioner Gordioso?
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Just want to make a comment before we take the vote. I want residents to know that this board has been committed to making thoughtful, lawful, and responsible decisions. We've reduced the intensity of zoning compared to what we inherited. We grounded our decisions in the Heart and Soul Plan and the Route 322 corridor plan. We investigated public purchase and found it would be financially harmful to taxpayers to acquire this property. And we secured a public roadway solution that directly addresses traffic concerns without placing a financial burden on the township. We do not, we are acting with transparency, with diligence, and with long-term well-being for Upper Chichester Township in mind at all times. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Mr. Needles, will you do a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Baco? Commissioner Neary? Commissioner Gordioso?
No.
Commissioner Rakowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Whitaker?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Yeah. Moving on to other agenda items. The announcement, Upper Chichester Township Parks and Recreation Department will host its annual tree lighting ceremony at Gibbon Park on Friday, November 28th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Come and kick off the holiday season with an evening of festive cheer. Yes. Where? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the October 9th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye, motion carried. Thank you. Vice President Rakowski.
Thank you, Madam President. Try to find this one. Consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the statewide local share account grant program, funding in the amount of $275,000 for the improvement at the Johnson Avenue Park. So moved.
All right, motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carried.
Consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the statewide local share account grant program, funding in the amount of $256,220 for the purchase of the property at 1706 Peach Street. So moved.
Motion and second, any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion approving a payment request number 7 from Ernal Company, Inc. in the amount of $64,787.40 for the Kingsman Park project. So moved.
Motion and second, any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion approving a change order number 6 from Ernal Company, Inc. with a cost increase in the amount of $50,700 for the Kingsman Park project. So moved.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion approving payment request number 5 from Blue Scope Construction in the amount of $235,065.70 for the Library and Resource Center renovation project. So moved.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the statewide local share account grant program funding in the amount of $196,463.89 for the purchase of a new ambulance. So moved.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. Mr. Neary.
Thank you, Madam President. Consider an ordinance amending the Upper Chichester Township Code of Ordinances, Chapter 71, Pensions and Retirement, Article 1, Police Pension Plan. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a resolution amending the Upper Chichester Township Non-Uniform Defined Benefit Pension Plan. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the statewide local share account grant program funding in the amount of $127,035.30 for the purchase and upfitting of 2 vehicles for the use by the Upper Chichester Police Department. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion accepting the retirement agreement with Marco Benelli from his position in Upper Chichester Township. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion approving the 2026 preliminary budget in the amount of $18,729,916.36. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Any nays? Ayes have it.
And just as I mentioned, we haven't increased trash fees or any tax increase in that budget. Consider a motion authorizing the advertisement of the 2026 preliminary budget for inspection and the adoption of the 2026 final budget. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion authorizing the advertisement of an ordinance setting the 2026 fee for the collection of trash, garbage, rubbish, and refuse materials. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried.
Consider a motion approving the November trash fee exoneration list. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion approving the list of bills in the amount of $1,588,633.52. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion to authorize a real estate tax refund to LMJ Properties LP in the amount of $564.55 for 2618 Chichester Avenue. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it.
Consider a motion authorizing the township solicitor to initiate a writ and pursue all other necessary actions to put into effect the township redistricting map. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Any nays? Ayes have it. Thank you. Commissioner Bacco.
Thank you. Announcement that the township offices in Fury Road Fieldhouse will be closed on Thursday, November 27th, 2025, and Friday, November 28th, 2025, for the Thanksgiving holiday. The Thursday trash route will be collected on Wednesday, November 26th, along with the regular Wednesday trash route. The Friday trash route will be collected on Monday, December 1st. Monday's recycling and bagged leaves route will be collected on Tuesday, December 2nd. Along with the Tuesday route, consider a resolution making application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the statewide local share account grant program funding in the amount of $1 million for Phase 1 and 2 of the Boothwyn Town Center Stormwater Improvement Project. So moved.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion accepting the bid from GMB Construction in the amount of $131,536 for the Twin Oaks Intersection Improvements Project, CDBG number 50-45A, subject to the approval of the OHCD. So moved.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion accepting the contract change order in the amount of $10,625 for the Twin Oaks Intersection Improvement Project, CDBG number 50-45A, subject to the approval of the OHCD. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to sign any and all documents associated with the TE-160 and signal plans for signal permit number 63-3844 Chichester Avenue, SR 33009 and Butler Farm Lane, Summers Lane. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yep. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Aye.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to sign any and all documents associated with the TE-160 and signal plans for signal permit number 63-3845 Chichester Avenue, SR 3009 and Chelsea Parkway. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to sign any and all documents associated with the TE-160 and signal plans for permit number 63-2544 Conchester Road, SR 0322 and Chelsea Parkway, Bethel Road, SR 3016. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion authorizing the township manager to sign any and all documents associated with the M-950 AA applicant's authorization for agent to apply for highway occupying permit application number 345676. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion approving change order number 2 for Murnell Company Incorporated with the cost increase the amount of $1,350 for the McKay Avenue Drainage Project, CDBG number 49-45A. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
Mike. Sioko. Does that fall into the, grant that we got for
Yes,
money wise?
we're still about $15,000 under the
original.
allocation amount, so this will take up $1,350 of that.
Okay,
So
thank you.
it's good, should be entirely covered by the grant. And this is really just a final paperwork item. They already have the payment request in, and they just asked that we file this to clean up the final quantities
Okay,
on the
thank you.
project.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion approving the payment request from AJ Jork Incorporated for the emergency repairs work on Somerset Lane in the amount of $13,400. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Consider a motion approving payment request number 1 from David Heiser Construction Services in the amount of $59,898.78 for the Bergdahl Park Stream Bank Restoration Project. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
Mike, Mike, they're done the project or
Yeah,
does he
so
have
they're-
any
they're
planning?
Done
to-
for now. They completed the stream bank regrading. They put in all new riprap along the bottom edges. They matted all the sides. They re-sloped the sides to have a proper slope instead of falling in to the stream. Now it's sloped back. The only thing remaining is to put the live stakes in, and they're typically not put in until like mid-November through March. So he put the order, I talked to the contractor, he put the order in for just those live stakes. As and he should have them, and he should be back in like the first week of December, and he'll install those, and then he'll be done.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Consider a motion approving the draft easement for traffic signals to be constructed at 4880 Chichester Avenue and for the township to enter the easement with the property owner. So moved.
Second.
What is 4880? Where's that at?
Panarella's project.
Oh, okay, across the street. Okay. All right, motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Consider a motion approving a draft easement for traffic signals to be constructed at 2318 Meeting House Road and for the township to enter the easement with the property owner. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Consider a motion approving the draft easement for traffic signals to be constructed at 3709 Chichester Avenue and for the township to enter the easement with the property owner. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Commissioner Gaudioso.
That's a long one.
Consider a motion approving the draft easement for traffic signals to be constructed at 4101 Market Street and for the township to enter the easement agreement with the property owner. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Thank you, Commissioner Gaudioso.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone again. Lastly, I'd like to consider a resolution authorizing an escrow release to Barbara Barrowclough in the amount of $1,622.00 for the 4433 Garnet Mine Road subdivision project.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Now we'll move on to our Commissioner and Professional Report, Vice President Rakowski.
Thank you, Madam President. Not much to say. All reports are on file. Just to let Joe know, Commissioner Neary, the numbers will be coming to us, and George, for the incentive program for the fire department. We started this incentive program probably 3-4 years ago to give the active members and also the members that do internal work, because if it wasn't for them, the active members wouldn't be doing what they're doing too. So it takes both sides. So we included the executive board, the volunteers that do volunteer on other projects, and also the firemen and fire ladies that respond during the year. So it's something small. It's something we're going to look into, different incentives to try to help out even in the near future. So I have one more month to remind Mr. Neary how many volunteers I have, but I will let you know. But other than that, that is it. Unless anybody has anything for me. But like I said, all the reports are on file.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Rakowski? We'll go on to Commissioner Neary. Mike?
Good evening, everybody. The police reports and the administration reports, the tax report are all available. I would like to read something. The police department is running its annual Shop with a Cop event on Saturday, December 6th. The goal is to assist families with children in need. due to a job loss, military deployment, or economic hardship. Donations are gladly accepted, and further details can be had by contacting Ray Fuller at 610-485-8400, extension 491, or r.fuller@uctpd.org. This is an event that the police have been running for a number of years. It's greatly appreciated by some of the people. I've seen some of them picking up presents that they weren't able to do that day up at the police department, and this really helps kids that might not have a Christmas without it. So if you could make a donation, that'd be great. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Neary? Commissioner Baca?
Thank you. On my reports file, I touched base last week, some of the stuff, the sewer authority and the stormwater authority. The new street has been delivered. It hasn't been out yet because, we're waiting for the, guys to all be trained and run. Then we'll be, on the streets, we'll be using it for the township and this, stormwater authority. That's all I have unless anybody has questions.
Hearing none. All right, Commissioner Gaudioso.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Again, all my reports are on file. I don't have anything new to report on. If anybody has any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, hearing none. Our professionals, Mr. Sioka.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. You should have a copy of my report as well. Just one thing to highlight is an update with the Township Road Program was completed this week. For the paving, there's a couple minor items like line striping, and there's a couple ADA ramps being completed within the next week. But on the bulk of it, the roads have been paved. So another successful road program completed. That's all I have unless the board has any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Neary? Terrace
Yeah.
Circle.
Yeah, that basin was regraded, and we're keeping an eye on it just to make sure that there's no further settlement, and that that the stabilization stays in place.
All right, thank you. Jim, do you have anything to add?
No, nothing to add. Our report's on file with the commissioners.
All right, thank you. Mr. Needles?
Good evening, everybody. Reports are on file. Just like to note that this meeting is 1 decade that I've been with the township. So this is it's been 10 years here. Thank you. Hold your applause. No, hold your applause. I'm not done yet. No, I just want to congratulate Lieutenant Jones and Sergeant Rhodes on their promotions. We've done a lot of work in that police department over the years, and this is a big milestone for that department, big promotion there. So kudos to them, and just a lot going on in the township. Keep moving forward, and thank you very much.
I just like to add, 10 years ago, I introduced George Needles as George Mullen. So George McMullen, that's it. So I got his name right after 10 years.
I remember that. It was like, yeah.
Second time we've been in this room, almost during COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Remember that, Joe Neary?
I'll finish up, just some comments. Again, we have the tree lighting ceremony, November 28th at Gibbon Park at 6 o'clock. And then we also have the Santa Sprint. We'll talk about that, though. That's next month. So again, the tree lighting ceremony, November 28th. And then just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time off with your families, and we will see you. No, let me back up. Veterans Day. We had a great day. Veterans Day, our breakfast, our 3rd annual Veterans Day breakfast was well attended again. I want to thank the township staff, our recreation department, our recreation board for coming out, cooking, serving, and all the volunteers that we had here on Tuesday to serve and honor our veterans for the sacrifices that they've made on our behalf, on the behalf of our country. So thank you again to our veterans and thank you to our staff that supported that event. And so happy Thanksgiving and we will see you next month. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?